So, morning, how are you all doing? Little project for the coming new year is to try and document more the challenges of living with one arm. And one of the things that I like to do every day is make a cup of coffee, see it as part of the sort of a mindful act to start the day really. Just some days I don't want to do it, those 5 minutes where you just dedicate yourself to making a cup of coffee and just involve yourself in the process. So that's been a big part of my recovery really, trying to give time to do that. So I'm going to start documenting it a bit more than I do. Okay, so first thing is, so I've got my stovetop pot. Didn't want this at first, but Catherine, my wife, bought it and it's become invaluable. So it's just like a little pressy, get your hip on there, enables you just to turn that round, take that off. Obviously, get out the used coffee grounds. You're probably not going to be able to see this bit, but get that, put the bin round, empty that into the bin. Okay, got to fill this up with water. Stage 2, got to ground some beans up. If you want fresh coffee, you've got to grind the beans. So nothing particularly innovative or challenging about this, just put beans in, obviously give it a blend up. Okay, open that out. I've got my little pot here that I put it in, makes it a bit easier to transfer. Again, on the old doofer there, pop that in there. I'll empty all this out. Just a bit tricky to get some of the bits in there. So do that. Pour the rest in. Okay, that's that stage done. I'm going to pop that back in there. Take the ground coffee, pop it in the filter. One thing I have found since having my arm lopped off is it does seem to make you clumsier. Like spilling things, knocking things over. I don't know what that is, but I do seem to be clumsier than I was. I would like to just level it off there, like laying floor screed. Okay, and then pop that back on. Nothing difficult about that, obviously. Ready? So, pot's loaded. We've got the ground coffee in there, we've got the water in there. So we're just going to stick it on the stove, fire her up. And in 5-10 minutes we'll have a lovely freshly brewed cup of coffee. And there are mornings obviously where I wake up and I just want that instant gratification of coffee in my hand, but I do enjoy the engagement with the process of making a freshly ground cup of coffee, the grounding the beans, every part of it. And it's a good way of just grounding yourself in the morning, being present, being in the moment. And it's a little act of self-care, isn't it? I could whack some coffee granules in hot water and have a coffee, but it's not the same act of self-love, is it? Self-care. Making yourself a fresh brewed cup of coffee in the morning is being kind to yourself, doing a nice thing for yourself. So it's something I do try to do most mornings. And there we go, we've got the coffee brewing nicely. So just go over to the milk station, let's get some milk in the milk frother, and then we've got a lovely fresh latte. I'm just going to turn that down a bit, don't want to burn it. Okay, so milk goes in here, got this little milk frother. One thing you do learn, that the one-handed undo, which is second nature now, you don't ever think it will be. oat milk. Ever since the original sarcoma diagnosis and reading Jay McLennan's book, How to Starve Cancer, enzyme in cow's milk that cancer cells really feed on to grow. So I was always a bit like, oh, cow's milk, it's not going to do you any harm, is it? And when I started reading that Jay McLennan book, and there's an enzyme in cow's milk that cancer cells draw to them, and so that really was the end of me drinking cow's milk, knowing that. Okay, so milk's been frothed, got my sunrise shack mug. Today's a good day. Anyway, bit of frothy milk in there. Pour that in. Just going to wash that out. And return, look at that, with a lovely freshly brewed pot of coffee. Pour that baby in there. Oh. I'll show you the inside of the coffee pot one day. I've got a theory that it's like oak aged barrels for wine or whiskey, that I stopped cleaning the coffee residue off the inside about 3 years ago, thinking that it would enhance the flavour. So everyone who has my coffee says they like it, so maybe there is some method in the madness, but put that back. And there we go, fresh cup of coffee to start the day.